couldn't tell if time was moving forward or not. I never grew hungry, nor sleepy, nor tired. Well, I guess I did grow tired of thinking, in a way. So I decided not to anymore. Raison d'etre, huh? A reason for my existence. There was a time I was looking forward to it, with no memories to rely on. It was something I wanted to support myself with at the time. A reason to live. A reason that justifies my existence. I wish to find it, together with Setsuna. Well, anyway, was my raison d'etre to live for the future, like the metal jerk said? I felt it true, at least partly. But it wasn't something I found for myself. It wasn't something I clutched with my own hands. I was forcefully given it by a being that superseded me. In other words, there was no point for me to be alive, and I was worthless, basically. But then why didn't I feel like dying? Why was I content absent-mindedly gazing at this empty world? A result of deep-rooted despair? Could be. I had no hope here, and I could definitely feel sorrow eroding my heart. Yet nonetheless, I felt like I also found it somewhere deep within myself. A reason to live. A reason to survive. A pathetic, trifling reason. I wanted to meet him again. I wanted to see Setsuna again. I wished to meet him and tell him everything about myself. After that, I would ask for his opinion. Ask if he hated me now. Ask if he found me repulsive now. I felt like I'd be satisfied if I could only hear his answer. If he rejected me, I'd lose my reason to live and could die in peace. Is that what I was really hoping for? Or did I want him to come up with another reason for me to live? Knowing nothing, not even myself, I continued to linger in sloth. I opened my mouth and gaped like a fish. Oh shit, couldn't form words anymore. I remained silent for so long I seemed to forget how to speak. Just testing the microphone. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Theme.
That's not how it goes.
Huh?
That's not how it goes.
Why the need to tell me twice?
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
I scream, you scream, we all scream because you were blasted by an ice beam.
I don't think that works.
Yeah, neither do I. But after a bit of fooling around, it seems I can speak no problem. I rubbed my throat.
Glad to see you are doing well.
I wouldn't exactly say I'm doing well, but I decided to stop bawling at least.
Tendu Setsuna died.
Huh?
He died. He got involved in the power struggle down in Pandora and couldn't hold his own. Everyone short of you forgot about him, and so he let out his last breath all alone.
No, she must have been joking. The joke was so good I couldn't stand. My legs gave out and I plopped down to the ground. Ah! Couldn't utter a sound. Something, was it terror or despair, took hold of my throat. Tears that I thought had long since evaporated welled up in my eyes again.
So you came to terms with yourself being from the future, and that you have no past, but you can't take Tendo Setsuna's death in?
But I... No! I fell apart. I could feel warm liquid flow from my nose down my face along with the tears, but I didn't care anymore. All I could do was cry.
Did you love him that much?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I forced the words out with a hoarse voice. I didn't even get the chance to learn if I truly loved him or not. One thing in particular rent my heart in excruciating pain. He was prone to loneliness. He was the type that would die in a single day if someone didn't look over him. And yet, his fate was to die alone, forgotten by all.
So just imagining his death brings you so much tears. I lied.
Messenger let out a deep sigh and landed another earth-shattering truth on my head. It took me over a minute to understand what she said, what she meant. Lied? What? Lied as in not to tell truth kind of lie?
Tendo Setsuna is still alive. I warned him to give up, but...
Messenger took another deep sigh.
It doesn't seem like he listened.
Give up? Not give up? I didn't care about such details right now. Actually, now that I thought about it, I probably should have cared quite a bit. It made me happy and all, but all that mattered now was that he was still alive.
You are so odd.
Me? Why?
You'd already been plunged into despair once, after you learned of your lineage. Yet your reaction seems more severe when you learned about Tendo Setsuna's death.
Huh.
You care about Tendo Setsuna more than yourself?
I took a few moments to consider. I didn't know.
Or do you perchance think yourself so worthless you don't matter next to other humans? I'd recommend you give it some thought. How worthy do you find your life? Do you think it less precious than Tendo Setsuna's?
I don't know. No one could know the worth of their own life.
Oh, but we do. You're someone who lives in the future. That by itself is of paramount value.
But it doesn't matter if it's me or someone else, does it?
Indeed, though I do not quite see an issue with this. If it's a role that anyone can fulfill, then you are just as worthy to act it as anybody else.
Well, yeah. I didn't think I was so special I had a fate no other human in the universe could ever replicate. That was the area of Lilith and Raziel. And Setsuna. All I ever wanted was a role that was just maybe a tiny bit special to someone.
Tendo Setsuna has reached the 5th stratum. I imagine he will join Adam and Eve there.
I took a breath of relief. Adam and Eve were one dependable pair. Thank God.
What do you want to thank him for?
Well, don't you think he's going to be a lot safer with Mr. Adam and Mrs. Eve?
Safer?
A smile suddenly crept onto Messenger's face.
Ah, indeed. Adam is quite strong. I imagine the four could topple this Tokyo Babel without much trouble if they united their strength. However, I wonder if it will go that well.
Messenger smiled a meaningful smile. However, at the moment, my mind was too preoccupied with another word she said. Wait, what do you mean four?
Well, they are four. You have Adam and Eve, then Setsuna and Raziel.
Raziel? Didn't you say she forgot him?
It appears she has indeed forgotten him. But you might be forgetting she is an angel. She listens to the pleas of mortals and accompanies those with common interest.
But she's forgotten him, right? She's forgotten him, but I haven't. I haven't! What on earth? I didn't know why, but I felt like the situation excruciatingly unfair. So much, in fact, I felt like screaming at the sky.
Oh, so this is what jealousy looks like.
What are you talking about? I am not jealous!
Now that I think about it, people of the past have invented an expression for this situation. I'm sure in Raziel's case, it was love at first.
No! An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind! For starters, I prayed to heaven that what she tried to imply wasn't the case. Though now that I thought about it, there's probably no one left in heaven to listen. Still, the moment I heard Raziel was with Setsuna, I was overcome with some hard-to-define emotion, as if something black and hot like coffee started to rage inside my stomach. Messenger was probably right. I was probably jealous. Did I have the right to feel so? A girl from the future that never had any past, or any other business in this world. Of course I didn't. My role was but one: to become the Eve of the future, to become a mother to mankind. The more I thought about it, the more my head hurt. I took a deep breath and forced my mind to instead contemplate the intricacies of Setsuna's face. I instantly started feeling better. If Setsuna too was Eve, Adam, what would he have done in my place? My duty is for mankind. I have to carry it out to the best of my ability. He'd probably say something like that, yeah. Messenger, seemingly finding something funny, chuckled to herself.
Do you want to meet Tendo Setsuna again?
Well, of course I do.
What would be the point of that? Would you ask him to break up with you because you are from the future and can't possibly coexist with a relic from the past such as he?
I can't break up with someone I'm not dating. I just want to meet him and then maybe talk with him a little. Messenger considered me for a few seconds, and then opened her mouth carefully.
If you so wish, I can relay your words to him.
I could have sworn fireworks exploded in front of my eyes. You can do that? I mean, is it, all right? Messenger wasn't my ally. She was on the enemy side, if anything. Even I could understand that much. Yet she gave me a nod with a mischievous smile on her face.
Of course. I am Raziel, the messenger of the divine word. You should know that my name means mercy of God. It is only natural I bestow mercy upon you.
Thanks! Thanks, Miss Raziel.
But while I shall provide you mercy, you shouldn't forget I am still your enemy.
Yeah.
All right. I shall be on my way then.
Yeah. See you. Wait!
What is it?
Didn't you just say you'll give my message to Setsuna?
I didn't say anything about a message. I only said I will relay your words. Anyway, you can look forward to the good news.
Huh? Wait a sec. And so Messenger vanished, just like that. How is message different from words in this context? Huh? Well, at least hopefully he'd learn I was alive and waiting for him. Oh.
Didn't catch the last word.
Oh, but... Suddenly I was overcome by a strong sense of inferiority springing from the nature of my past that the metal jerk revealed. I was barely a year old, yet I acted like I had lived in the world for an eternity. Doubtless he'd find me disgusting by now. In reality, I knew nothing. I hadn't experienced a single thing. That was me. The more I thought about it, the more I was overcome by inexplicable pressure. The world that I used to touch till now started feeling alien. The clothes I wore, these arms attached to my torso, everything started feeling like they didn't belong to me. I was scared. I'm scared. I wrapped my arms around myself. That was the extent of what I could do.
We finally reached the fifth stratum, modeled after the district of Tsukuchi.
From the look of it, there doesn't seem to be a master present on this floor. Let's look for Adam and Eve.
Roger. I think I can kind of feel them on this floor. Raziel cocked her head to the side.
I don't feel anything.
As I said, I can only kind of tell Adam at least is here. I don't know about Eve. I didn't know why, but I could smell the scent of Adam's magic. As if it had turned into a dog.
Well, if you say so, I shall trust you on this.
Razie's eyes regarded me with trust. It wasn't like she randomly remembered me or anything. It's a new kind of trust we built through overcoming the past few events together. I almost wanted to praise myself. I'll inspect the surroundings here. Can you check the market square while I'm on it, Raziel?
Roger.
We split up. Raziel towards the market square, I towards the common district. It didn't take me longer than 5 minutes to find them. Eve. I changed my mind and called out to Eve instead. Both of them were always together, so it didn't matter whose attention I got. Yeah. I could have him thinking I was his friend or something.
An acquaintance of yours?
No, I don't think I have met that man before. Probably.
Oh, right. I totally forgot.
Then I shall assume he is a hostile.
Adam pointed his fist at me. I'd love to break those arms of his. Now we had no time to waste on trifling matters. My name is Tendo Setsuna. Could you please at least listen to what I have to say?
I've never heard that name before.
Tendo Setsuna.
Eve cocked her head, but it seemed my name rang something in Adam's mind instead.
He does not seem like a hostile to me. You can go ahead and land here.
I found myself yet again inexplicably irritated at Adam's voice. I led it down the flower garden where the two waited. After that, I called Raziel and the four of us proceeded to exchange the relevant information.
So Pandora has fallen.
Oh,
You defeated the master on the fourth stratum, but found this floor completely empty?
Maybe Samael was the master around here?
You defeated Astaroth?
so Samuel.
We finished updating each other. As I expected, it seemed like the fall of Pandora shook them greatly. Both of them lowered their heads and fell silent.
Apparently, the key to solve your situation is in my book that I've been searching for ages. The Sefer Raziel.
Are you sure we can trust him?
Adam narrows his eyes, considering me suspiciously. Wish he didn't glare at me like that, as, unlike him, I wasn't that good at controlling myself. My fist might have found itself buried in his face at any moment. Raziel opened her mouth, showing no hesitation.
I trust him. We've only met today, but I feel like I've known him for a long time.
Well, alright. Our course of action doesn't change either way. You can join us if you so wish.
I'll do so then. Adam considered me suspiciously again. What is it? What is it?
Now I see what Raziel meant. Today is not the first time I've seen you. We've doubtless met before. My... What?
I knew you couldn't take that.
Who wrote this, honestly? My body remembers you.
Just kill me now.
Adam, I don't know how to put it, but that phrasing is a bit, you know.
A bit what?
It's nothing. Please forget it.
Eve's face turned crimson. Couldn't quite understand why Raziel's eyes suddenly seemed to start sparkling. Well, either way, it seemed like Adam vaguely remembered me, though I didn't know if I wanted to feel happy about that fact. Very complicated feeling indeed. Though at the same time, I grew curious as to why Adam would remember me when Lilith and Raziel forgot.
Well, it's time we headed to the 6th floor.
Adam stood up. Apparently he already found the doors leading above. Opening conspicuous doors, springing us out of flower garden. We entered a corridor of blinding white.
Setsuna, the course is getting to you.
What? Oh my god, I'm having a stroke already.
Setsuna, is the course getting to you yet?
I can handle it. The course was worse than I imagined. Countless angelic voices assaulted in my ears. I tried shutting down my sense of hearing, but it only grew worse. Apparently the voices would have the same effect regardless if I heard them or not. Without my sense of hearing, the echo reverberated directly inside my mind. One of the creepiest experiences I'd ever been exposed to in my life. The worst part about the song was that it was beautiful and guileless. It innocently tried to purify me, making me forget my sins, forget my wish for redemption, forget everything I carried on my shoulders. I could tell it was trying to make me forget everything I went through in my life, dismiss all my responsibilities, tried leading me to enjoy the existence of phony indulgence. It's the most dreadful song I ever heard in my life. It invaded my mind the very moment I lowered my defenses, even the slightest bit. I even had to sever a couple of my memory regions that got infected. A symptomatic treatment at best, but seemed to work for now.
Are you alright?
Eve turned her head to me. Contrasting their worried tone, her eyes are as cold as polar ice. How would one that sacrifices memories for carnal pleasures be different from beasts? It was only her children, humans, that Eve's mercy extended to. I'm fine. Took a deep breath to calm myself down. Adam and Eve weren't my enemies, but neither did they see me as a true ally. I showed the slightest hint of turning into a master. They slayed me right then and there. Well, all I could do now was try to persevere. If I turned, doubtless Raziel would be the first to get hurt. Betraying her trust was the one thing I couldn't bear to do.
We're almost at the end. Are you all ready?
Confirming our condition, Raziel opened the doors. A sudden blast of sizzling air hit us as if we had opened the doors of a preheated oven.
Where are we?
Twisting our faces against the uncomfortably hot atmosphere, we considered the surroundings.
Oh, okay. We're in Konda Booktown.
Konda Booktown. True to its name, was a district made almost exclusively of publishing houses and used bookstores, the holy land for book enthusiasts, offering writings for both new and old, Western and Eastern. Though the said collection of our written wisdom seemed to be busy being consumed by the red-hot flames of the present moment. Raziel's shoulders sagged. She had no way of helping her beloved volumes. A book might have been in one of those buildings.
There are no flames nor acid potent enough to harm my book. I think it should be alright.
We should prioritize defeating the master of this area first. It won't be too long to look for your book afterwards.
Yeah, let's look for the said master first. If my previous experience is any indication, we still can expect the flames to disappear once he loses control over the place.
Roger. Whoever he is, should hurry up and...
Raziel and I noticed her first. He stared at her with a confused look, but Adam seemed completely unmoved, as always.
Who are you?
I couldn't breathe. Why was she here? Sorami? Sorami chuckled to herself and realized she couldn't have been what she seemed. Sorami never wore a crooked smile like this. She couldn't fly either, and I thought about it.
I'm sorry. I just felt like playing around a little.
In the blink of an eye, Messenger took Sorami's place in the sky.
Messenger?
How dare you?
So you are Messenger. Raziel of Thunder.
Only 2 more floors remain. I must say, I'm very curious to see whether you will manage to reach the gates of heaven in the end.
Messenger, is the book really here?
Yes, it's here. The book our dear Raziel spent eternity looking for. Both the Book of Earth and the Book of Heavens. The complete article is most certainly here.
Where? Where is it?
Messenger chuckled to herself again.
Calm down. The master of the Strata has it. He clutches it in his hands day and night, never letting go.
What's his name?
That's a secret, is what I'd like to say. But with Raziel in your ranks, you can just have her look it up anyway. The master of the Styx stratum is Anafiel.
Anafiel, also known as the branch of God, one of very few angels allowed to use Tetragrammaton, one of the mightiest and most glorious of God's servants.
So even Anafiel went mad.
Instead of answering, the messenger pointed to the sky. Following where she indicated, I realized an object of strange origin had been hanging in the distance. Almost like a sun, but not exactly. If the actual sun was this close, it would be roasted meat by now.
Is that Anafiel out yonder?
Indeed. Having lost faith in this world, he shackles himself to an eternal furnace. Now he is but an abomination awaiting death. So feel free to shoot him down. That's what you should start with, anyway.
For a moment, everyone considered the burning angel in silence. It turned to a furnace that hardly resembled a human, or indeed any living thing in shape. Plains of disappointment and despair, such as the raison d'etre the mighty angel chose for himself. We have to do this.
I doubt we can communicate with him in that
Anafiel, I'm sorry.
I don't seem particularly moved. Merely gazed at the messenger with his vacant eyes.
You won't help us?
Of course I will not. I am not your ally. But for the time being, I wouldn't say I am your enemy either.
Messenger directed her attention to me.
I have a message from your beloved that I shall share with you after battle. Please try not to die, alright?
She flew into the sky. Infuriatingly, it formed Sorami once again, giving me a friendly smile. Sighted on me, my blood boiled. Tried to take a deep breath, was choked in the fiery air. So, with a cough, we faced the sun.
Eve, do you have anything?
Eve shook her head in silence.
There are no face pure destruction like that.
Machine of pure destruction. I winced at the image that word gave me.
Anafiel had seen that. He discovered word, goodwill, and his dignity. Now he but a beast out to murder everyone on.
Going as far as to discard the shape of a living being, he chose to wear other destruction on the stratum.
If memory serves, Anafiel has 16 flame nests. I suppose that's one of the things all around him.
Indeed, something akin to flame tentacles envelop buildings all around the area.
I and Tendo Setsuna shall face the thing head on. Eve and Raziel, you two support us from behind.
Roger.
Are you sure?
Eve considered Raziel and me. Still looked like nothing but a regular pilgrim to her.
Don't worry, he's strong.
Unmistakable hint of pride in her voice bolstered my spirit.
If such is your word, Raziel, then I do not doubt he is.
Didn't need his trust. Well, I was mature enough to mind my manners. Thank you.
Did you say something?
Seemed like it didn't hear me. Well, it was my fault. He was deaf. I thanked him properly already and didn't like repeating myself over and over again. Then now that settled, I flew to the sky along with Adam. Forgetting my inexplicable sense of inferiority towards him for now, I concentrated all my attention to our current adversary, a fake sun hanging in the sky. Anafiel was the first to make its move. Cast of whips and flames snaked towards me.
Dodge!
You don't need to tell me. We darted in opposite directions. Flame rendered. whizzed right by my side like a bullet, about 2 meters in diameter, felt more like a flying train than a weapon. It moved at a speed faster than sound. Metatron would have squished my body like a bug if it only caught up with me. Suddenly grabbed me by the collar. Adam pushed me behind his back. Before I got a chance to protest, he put out a single starve from his pocket dimension.
Nehushtan!
2 bronze snakes wriggled, coiling around its tip. Before I had a chance to ask what on earth that was all about, the flame whip hit us. Hit us, or rather, swat us away like flies, crushed at a speed exceeding that of sound. Our bodies turned 2-dimensional like those of bugs in a windshield, or at least I thought that should have happened. I consulted my data bank. The staff Moses used to repel the fiery serpents. Bronze serpent. The bronze monument Moses erected as per God's word to protect Israelites from the bites of fiery serpents.
Indeed. Its effective range, unfortunately, is fairly narrow. Do not leave the area behind my back.
I shot towards NFEL's main body. I observed how 10 or so whips raging around us devastated everything in the area. The whole scenery grew hazy from the terrible heat. I could see ahead of me. All that came to my eyes were oddly warped pictures of what I guess was supposed to be the scenery of Konda. I thought I had suddenly wandered into a parallel dimension.
Onwards!
As Adam proceeded further, the bronze surface of his star began to melt. What? Before I knew it, the giant sun took the entirety of my vision in its magnificence. As I was closer, I could finally make out a human-like shape beside it. Anafiel, clutching onto something with both of his hands, had curled up in a fetal position in the middle of the fiery star, when his eyes wriggled, locking on us in an instant. His gaze was indeed like that of the abyss itself, his eyes blazing in the fiercest of malice. Suddenly, this emotion seemed to seep into my mind. I won't forgive. The word is irredeemable. My fury is that of despair. My fury is that of justice. My fury will not wane to the fangs of my rancor tear the world apart. It's more like some sort of grudge, rather than just anger. The bronze serpent finally melted down to nothingness. Next morning, every single cell of my body seemed to reach the boiling point. Get away! With all my strength through kicking atoms out of harm's way, and darted away from Anafiel's myself. Dozens of flame whips shot after me in pursuit. They gave me a second to stop and reconsider my strategy. A single impact would be lethal, even if it only grazed me. Staggering for about a mere second would mean certain death. It was following me relentlessly, exceeding the speed of sound, forgetting everything, countering and dodging and running. I didn't stop to take a breath. My mind full of throttle, analyzing the situation, I discarded all my useless sensations. Possibility of my survival remained below 1%. I just moved, forgetting everything I done from one place to another. I guarded my feet, undo its flee, fire reflect down a single opening for counterattack. All I seemed like a relatively safe area. Crashed down from the roof of the building and slid beyond its weapon's reach. The heat wave that hit me as I opened the doors of this place was nothing compared to blazing inferno in front of Anafiel. Wonder if I succeeded at getting Adams out of safety with that kick. As I glanced around the surrounding to find him, a voice reached me through a telepathic link.
I am fine, though I cannot say kicking people in the face is a very cordial approach to saving them.
Only imitate what Lilith would do in such a situation. I'm glad you're safe. I don't know why, but I felt like something akin to black mud would skew my thoughts whenever Adam got involved. Flame whips would go far away in the sky, probably pursuing him this time.
Can you come to my aid already? Now's not the time to try and hide our true powers from each other. Use your raison d'etre.
Know that much. I calmed myself down and analyzed the situation. What kind of being was Anafiel right now? The sun, supreme above all. Betrayed he despaired. The identity of that which had driven him to this state was beyond me. But his fever is that of hatred, that of despair, and that of fury. Being almost painfully simple and straightforward, his raison d'etre had no obvious weakness. He wished to destroy everything in his despair, but his mind itself having abandoned him long ago, he turned to the indiscriminate weapon of mass destruction. Scarring his angelic dignity, he chose to hang there in the sky like a second sun until either the world or he himself collapsed on his own weight. Defeating him would mean his liberation. The question was, how could one possibly defeat the sun? In the long history of mankind, there were tribes that revered it as a god, that detested it, that praised it for favors. I knew of no tribe that ever thought of facing it in battle. I had trouble picturing a way to defeat it. Still, my raison d'etre demanded a figment that would exceed the might of the sun, at least in my imagination. Water, ice, wind, useless. You didn't have the power to extinguish the sun. But was there a thing in the universe that could?
Is that me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd say a moonless night would have been the least sun around, don't you think?
Huh? I turned around, looking for the master of the familiar voice. She was nowhere in sight. Was I hearing things? Did my deep unconscious borrow the form of Lilith to tell me something? A curious phenomenon, but now is not the time for philosophizing. I felt that the key to solve this riddle was hidden there in Lilith's words. Indeed, night always followed day. The sun always sank below the horizon. So I had to make Anaphiel sink the same way. Soothe his fury and put his hand to sleep. The tyranny of the night would extinguish the dormant, dominant luster of the sun. 'Tis the fate of sun to sink beyond the horizon. 'Tis the fate of day to give way for the night. The chant poured forth like a curse. Breaking the sound barrier, the flame was swirled all around him. The most hesitation would mean certain death. Adam put everything, the skin, muscle, bones, and nerve fibers, to full throttle in this fight. A dodge, an evasive maneuver, emergency avoidance. At this point, he could easily outperform a jet fighter if he so wished. In front of him loomed no plane but an aggressive fortress. How was he supposed to shoot something like that down? Yet Adam refused to give up. He continued his fight even as his heart stopped as long as his brain remained intact. If someone crushed even that, his teeth would doubtless assault his opponents for as long as they were turned to dust. Had inherited the main trait that lets transcend beasts and become mankind. Tenacity. Still, Anaphiel was on a different level than anyone he had faced so far. Even the divine Houston melted down in front of his luster. No holy relics in Adam's arsenal seemed to have much effect on the fiery angel.
No choice.
Biden and momentarily opened in between the flame-whipped onslaught. Adam silently uttered the following.
Summon. Arcus Strategos!
A sword manifested in his hands, crafted from an alloy of God's luster infused with flames that by nature annihilate all evil. It's the ultimate, mightiest, all-holy relics. Arcus Strategos, or in other words, Supreme Commander, the one and only.
Archangel Michael, lend me your power.
The highest-ranking angel in God's kingdom, he who is like God, Michael. Obliterating all disease from its sheath, his sword is said to hold the power to slay the mightiest of demons in a single swing. Among all weapons in heaven and hell, was without doubt the strongest. Still, an animal cannot use it without paying the cost. It's not a weapon crafted with human hands. Even most angels could not wield it lightly. For it was the sword of Michael, the weapon of the one mightiest in the multiverse, the very being who created this Tokyo Babel. Adam didn't know if he had been truly worthy to swing such an artifact, if he wouldn't be cursed, forced to pay something dear in return for his audacity. Still, he couldn't think of any other way to possibly defeat the sun. The very moment, he steeled his heart to swing the divine sword, something inconceivable occurred. Adam, move aside. I can't guarantee your life if you don't. The flame was suddenly split apart. What? Couldn't help but let out a gasp. It not just split apart, it turned black. Serena seemed to sever the color of the entire space it traversed to the ebony black of the night. The fire still raged, the cries of the angels' despair had yet to cease, akin to tentacles of a kraken. The flame whips shot in all directions, destroying everything in their path. Still, seemingly not minding them at all. Frankie narrate.
Still, seemingly not minding them at all, Tendu Setsuna swung his sword, or spear, or whatever that thing was, shrouding the space in darkness again. He clashed his weapon against a flame whip that flew straight at him with no hesitation. It seemed like the flames could not touch him. Darkness emanating from the young man swallowed them as soon as they dared get close. Adam stared at the spectacle in a daze, all sorts of questions swirling in his mind. He could not force his legs to move. What was the weapon in the young man's hands? It appeared to be a sort of cutting tool with a very long hilt adorned with the skulls of men, its blade glowing in obsidian black. Like the sword of the devil himself, Adam had never seen a tool this obviously vile. He had also never heard of a weapon that gave birth to darkness as it swung. Yet, Tendu Setsuna used it like a trusty sword. Adam had never had an interest in anything other than his pilgrimage. He was especially indifferent to matters concerning others, be it angels, demons, or humans. He separated them to two types, those that were in his way, and those that weren't. Yet now, he was positively amazed. He had never been as interested in anyone as he was in Tendu Setsuna. He had to catch up with him.
Adam, stop! The battle is over!
But Raziel stopped him as he was about to dash forward. Just as she said, Tendu Setsuna, after zipping from one side of the battlefield to another, finally found his way to Anafiel and split him in half with that strange weapon of his. Pitch blackness covering the sky. The sun was soon consumed by the impenetrable darkness. It seemed like Adam had conquered the sixth stratum without doing anything of significance. He let go of Michael's sword, returning it to the pocket dimension. But without turning back to Raziel, his gaze was still fixed on Tendu Setsuna in the sky. He asked her a question that had been weighing on his mind.
Raziel, I ask of you, the keeper of all the world's knowledge, what on earth was that weapon?
Raziel fiddled with her tablet for a moment and thrust it in front of Adam's eyes.
It's the first time I'm seeing it myself, but my guess is it's a pagan god. Most likely... oh lord. Tezcatlipoca of Aztec lore.
Tezcatlipoca?
A vile demon according to Christian missionaries. His name meaning smoking mirror. He was a god of both the sun and the night. Apparently, the darkness and destruction were words he most usually used to describe him.
An evil deity?
Well, I imagine that would depend on how you look at it. Still, his power seems to have proved exceptionally effective in our situation.
Only the darkness that ridiculed the light itself could overpower the angel whose despair and fury took the form of second sun.
Adam.
Yes, I am fine.
Tendu Setsuna still hung distant in the sky. If they could have made out his expression from that distance, they would have known He had his eyes closed tight, as if paying his respects to the passing of a grand and noble being. Frustration took hold of Adam's heart as he gazed at the young man in the sky, looking at him fight, himself helpless on the ground, nearly made Adam's heart boil. He did not want to lose against the young man. An emotion black like mud crept into his mind. If one were to put it into words, it would have sounded like... I'm gonna let Duck do that.
I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose against him, of all people.
For the very first time in his life, Adam tasted the emotion of rivalry. Is that the god of the night from the god of the night from Aztec lore? This weapon could have easily been called a caricature of himself. He was one-legged since a beast of the land devoured one of his feet, symbolized by the long hilt. The skulls, his symbol, functioned as a basket hilt, and the weapon's blade had been sharpened from obsidian glass, dark as the night. It would shroud everything it touched in darkness. Neither light nor flame could hope to withstand its absolute blackness. When face to face with it, they had no choice but to wither away. I normalized my breathing and returned my weapon to nothingness. With Anafiel dead, I no longer had a use for it.
I took a step towards Anafiel's corpse to see more like a destroyed statue than a dead body someone made from flesh and blood. It fell apart. Pieces of him now nothing more than rubble at my feet. Found his head in the rubble. His lips were shut tight in a thin line, a pair of eyes that lacked any semblance of life. On a head of emotion colored the angel's countenance. Who betrayed him? What caused his despair? Was his fall related to the book, and his dead hand still tightly clutched the stuff of Raziel?
Setsuna,
Yeah. Does it look like your book?
yes, it's most definitely my book.
Are we going to pry it out? Close in on Anafiel's corpse. Poke the volume in his clutches. Something shrank in size, and Raziel easily pulled out the rubble. Still look a few sizes too big for comfortable reading, though. Raziel rested the giant volume against the ground, and tightly embraced it.
My book. I spent an eternity looking for you, except for Raziel.
Congratulations, Raziel. Raziel gave me a nod. Then she brushed the tears off her eyelid and glanced around the area.
This is probably not the best place for reading. Let's see to it after we bury Anafiel.
Well then, I suppose I shall take care of my own business while you're all busy.
Messenger appeared out of nowhere. Landing on the ground next to me, she grasped my sleeve and tugged me to the side.
Is there a problem?
It's nothing. Setsuna, just don't forget yourself, alright?
Sure, but what do you mean?
She's our enemy.
Of course I wouldn't forget that. It's barely been a day since I nearly lost my life fighting her. Though at the same time, they feel like she lied to me about bringing Sorami's message. Raziel Thunder, both ally and foe.
You sound like you're mixing your personal feelings into this, Raziel.
I'm not mixing anything. Didn't you know that I apparently am amnesiac? And as far as I'm concerned, only met him today. What sort of personal feelings could I have for him at this stage?
Well, if you say so.
Indeed, I say so.
Raziel nodded in satisfaction. The messenger narrowed her eyes in a glare. I faced messenger atop the roof of a nearby corporate building. So what about her message?
Just give me a second.
Where I could so much as blink, impenetrable darkness suddenly clouded the entirety of my vision. Just like that. Huh? Oh, wait.
Huh? Setsuna?
Sorami was in front of my eyes. The anxiety gnawing my heart vanished instantly, washed away by the wave of relief that in turn filled my chest to the brim. I tried embracing her, but my hands went right through her.
Ah, so you weren't here after all.
She gave me a wistful smile. Is this a hologram of some sort? She definitely stood right here in front of my eyes. It didn't appear like messenger posed as her this time, and her body seemed to exist in a place different from that of mine. All I need to know is that you're safe. Are you alright? It doesn't look like they've done anything to harm you. Or did they?
Setsuna. I disappeared.
Her voice stripped of all emotion. She seemed to be smiling, but I could feel no joy in her. This is my resignation that adorned her face. What disappeared?
Everything. I have nothing left. You know, it seems I'm just a baby. A mere child that doesn't really know anything.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Apparently, I'm a person from the future or something, and I wasn't born to live in this world.
Future?
My memories returned. All of them. Though I guess that's no big deal as they were barely 1 year's worth. I was born in a huge pool, you see.
She told me everything. That she was born not into the hands of loving parents, but within the lonely waters of an artificial pool.
I'm a fake. Both my body and soul.
Apparently Messenger randomly chose her. 100 or so other people in the same state. As a present to Gethel. Even I knew her life past the point she met Gethel. In other words, her past was so short, it could barely even be labeled as one. With a long silence, I parted my lips. I see.
Setsuna, what should I do? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
She gazed at me hopefully. Her face laden with tears. All my thoughts were preoccupied with figuring out a way to save her from physical peril. I couldn't seem to find the words to advise her on this spiritual matter. No words could possibly liberate her from the present torment. Don't worry about it, Sorami. I'll find your raison d'etre for you. You don't need to mull over your path anymore. I'll take all the responsibility for myself. Lead you forward. Peer straight into your eyes. I'll protect you against everything that means you harm. I can bring myself to add till death do us part. The remainder of my life was too short for that.
Are you kind of proposing to me?
Turning the color crimson, Sorami asked me the question with misty eyes. That's not what I meant. For some odd reason, it seemed like Sorami got suddenly depressed by my statement. Anyway, leave it all to me. I'll always be by your side.
All right. If you say so, then I guess I have nothing to worry about. I can trust you on this, right?
I gave a nod to her anxious eyes. I might have warped her raison d'etre. But if I did, I didn't regret it. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to save her. There was nothing wrong with my feelings for her, so there could be nothing wrong with my decision.
I'll be waiting for you, Setsuna. I'll wait for as long as it takes.
She smiled at me. I could spot something beyond simple trust twinkling in her eyes. Zilla blinked once, realized Sorami had turned back to Messenger.
Did you have a good time?
I could confirm Sorami's safety thanks to you. You have my gratitude.
Think nothing of it. I'm merely carrying out my duty as an angel.
Duty, huh? Are you also trying to destroy the past?
Maybe I am. Maybe I am not. But the new Lord is correct, that the past is growing less and less necessary for this world.
And who are you to decide that?
I am simply an obedient servant to the new Lord's ideal. Completely remaking the world is much faster than trying to salvage the old one. The divine calamity has so utterly ravaged. I would say it's perfectly sensible.
Is it not easy to create the world?
You think so? You should know that the new Lord is recycling the old layout with hardly a change in everyone's roles.
The old layout? Same one from the genesis of our current world? So it's just going to repeat the same thing all over again?
Well, the particulars of the new Lord's design remain a mystery, even to me. But there is one thing I know. To create a new world, you have to destroy the old one.
I won't let you. She chuckled my words.
But no one is stopping you from resisting. Though doubtless one day you yourself will understand how futile your actions were.
Messenger gracefully floated into the air.
In any event, it's about time I took my leave.
I could do nothing but stare at her receding figure. But still something I had to confirm. Did Seth Raziel truly retain a crucial clause? The four of us, Raziel, Adam, Eve, and I, solemnly regarded the giant book.
Both the Book of Earth and the Book of Heavens appear to be here. Together, the book's complete. Anyway, I'll decompress it and check for any info on the angel in question.
How can you look for him when you don't know his name?
I'll just check the names of all accomplished angels, one by one.
Learning his name alone would most likely bring our source of relevant memories back to her minds, banish an amnesia spell. One thing to forget a nameless human like myself, is another to eliminate the knowledge of someone as grand and distinguished as the four master angels.
I too believe that to be our best option at present.
Alright, I'm undoing the seal.
And so the book flew open, its pages dancing in the wind, eventually stopping at the chapter on angels.
The chief of all angels. Argygestos, Michael. Not him.
You could remember Michael's name all right.
Archangel Gabriel, not her. Archangel Raphael and Archangel Uriel. Not them either.
Turned on a page. Zerachiel, Ramiel, Faniel. Angels of unmatched powers had long since passed away as far as we knew. Still, Raziel seemed to remember them without difficulty. Even I know a few familiar names.
I remember everyone. It doesn't seem like it's any of them.
Then she turned another page.
Huh?
A wave of memories hit us like a tsunami. Raziel, her eyes open wide, dropped on her knees. For a while, I know I could find the strength to part their lips. It took the entirety of her faculties to process the vast amount of information. For starters, that was one agent no one would have ever forgotten under normal circumstances. How could he have possibly forgotten the one at the top, both in rank and might? Not to mention I already considered Sadafon multiple times. I could not think of his twin. Grand Angels whose name everyone had heard of at least once, a Grand Angel who was by nature unforgettable. There's no way we wouldn't have considered him had our minds not been tampered with. In other words, there's no doubt we were forcibly made to forget him.
It's him.
And Adam and Eve grew pale as ghosts. Could hardly blame them. I was just the same. Indeed, I could tell. It was him, without doubt.
There is no way I could have forgotten about him. There's no way I would not have considered his involvement. At least, under normal circumstances.
There is no other explanation other than that we were made to forget.
The lesser god, the one adorned with 1,365,000 blessings, sprouting 72 wings, and boasting 48 jewels, the highest in rank of all angels.
The angel of infinite names, the one closest to God. Metatron. Scribe of justice, the greatest of God's servants, Metatron. Seemed like he was the mastermind of our present predicament. We comprehend the fact to our very bones. Surprisingly enough, Metatron was not a pure angel. Adam's 7 times great-grandchild, the righteous Enoch, castigated God despite being immortal. Still, to prove that this divine way was just, he was not cruel, God took Enoch to heaven. To facilitate the immortal's work on earth, God awarded his new servant a new name, the immediate attendant to the throne, Metatron. Even Serial was said to shiver in fear, flee in fear like a rabbit at the mere utterance of that name. Nonetheless, other angels also looked down on Metatron. They called him Buyo, unborn in mud. True-blood angels likely couldn't forgive Metatron's audacity for suddenly rising above them in rank from a mortal. It's unclear whether it was because of this, but unlike Michael, instead of governing the armies of heaven, Metatron served God alone, his position more of an honorary one. Though highest in rank, he never had any subordinates. Though everyone knew his name, no one had ever met him in person. That was the kind of lonely angel Metatron was. Then out of sigh, Raziel closed the book and ruffled her hair.
I remembered everything. Indeed, for an angel of his power, creating the world should pose no significant hurdle. The one closest to God, Metatron.
That was how powerful he was. I'm not quite familiar with the divine hierarchy in regards to strength. Is Metatron more powerful than Michael? Raziel, without a second pause, gave me a nod. I can hardly believe it. Still, I imagine Raziel would know these things far better than me.
Michael was indeed strong. He wasn't called out our supreme commander for nothing, but his strength came with his armies. I highly doubt even he had the strength to oppose Metatron alone.
That was how absurdly powerful Metatron was in raw might. Once a human and once just a scribe, he attained incredible powers through the countless battles he ended up braving. The one that held the title of the mightiest among all the 31,655,722 angels. That was Metatron. That was our foe.
Let me tell it straight. We don't stand a chance. At least, he's not an opponent we could possibly face in a fair fight.
But if we do nothing, the world will be destroyed.
Raziel slumped her shoulders and shook her head. All vigor had vacated her countenance.
If destruction is his will, there's not a thing we can do about it. Well, I plan to resist till the very end nonetheless, but I don't believe it'll change anything at this point.
So you're going to submit to the future? Raziel, think. What will happen when we yield here? He'll override the old world with this new one and become God. Vexation crept into Raziel's voice.
I know that much, and he has more than enough power to do it. Creating a new world is child's play to him. But I don't have the right to deny him. I mean, Pandora has fallen apart. There are barely any angels or demons still living. And I lack the power to create a new world myself. What else can we?
Raziel lowered her head, her eyes bereft with strength. We have to reject that future nonetheless. No matter how you look at it, the future that Angel is designing is an abomination.
I wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment. This world needs no new future.
One way or another, if given the opportunity, I would rather not perish. I wager we have no alternative but to struggle until the very end.
Raziel, Metatron might indeed be great, might indeed not be an opponent we could possibly defeat, but we still have to fight him. Raziel fell silent for a few seconds, then nodded quietly.
So with that settled, what do you think we should do from now on? I'd like to continue the pilgrimage if possible.
Climb Jacob's ladder from the 7th stratum and enter heaven. That shouldn't prove too hard at this point. After all, the master of the 6th stratum had already fallen to her might. I didn't know he lorded over the floor above, but with Adam's strength, that didn't prove that much of an obstacle.
The problem is that heaven might very well be Metatron's realm by now.
Indeed, before creating the entirety of the new world, Metatron would likely start by creating a realm where he himself would reside in. Or what of our lord then? Raziel grew pale as a ghost. As he already
Stop it!
The possibility of him the possibility of him being dead by now is fairly high.
Adam blurted his statement with complete indifference. Eve, as if unable to believe her ears, stared at Adam in astonishment. So did Raziel. The one and only Lord of Heavens was likely an absolute concept to the two of them. Couldn't blame them, from their upbringings. Meanwhile, Adam was created by angels, and I myself by mankind. Neither of us were exactly of God's designed. So neither of us seemed to feel the absolute sense of veneration towards him. Yeah, the place that Metatron brought me to back then was completely empty. It's possible as the half-finished new heaven of his.
Then it would indeed be most wise to travel together.
Adam shrugged at my surly expression.
Don't be so grim. It's not like I like the idea either.
Oh, not a fan yourself?
Yes, I realized during the earlier fight. But just as it seems like you hate me, I can tell you I hate you just as much.
Again, he spoke without care or feeling. His face was a blank. I had no idea what emotions were behind that mask. Still, his declaration inexplicably cheered me up. And my thanks. Apparently of the same mind. Wait, would that actually be the other way around? Adam snorted out a smile. It kind of irritated me, but now is hardly time for pointless bickering.
At any rate, let's head to the 7th stratum. We currently have no other option but to push forward.
With these words, he closed the book, restored into her pocket dimension. Her face was a mask of gloom, but beyond it, I could still spot a hint of her will to fight. Alright, let's go. Just we'll have to look for the entrance to the next floor.
So I found it. You're all welcome to sing my praises.
Raziel accidentally stumbled upon the door as she slacked off in a nearby bookstore. The world was a very unfair place as always. Who would have thought a door would open inside the bookstore? Sighing at Tokyo Babel's lack of common sense, I used my silver key to unlock it.
Well then, let us go.
Yes, Adam.
Let's go, Raziel.
Yeah. Goodbye, Anafiel. Goodbye, everyone.
Took a few seconds to wistfully consider the mountain of old books behind us. No new knowledge would ever descend upon this place again. All the wisdom it had already contained would rot and wither away with no one there to taste its fruits. A merely replica of the real thing that long vanished from this world, it still doubtless pained Raziel's heart to see it perish all over again.
The library has collapsed, and this town is already withering away. There's no longer a place for knowledge to accumulate in this world.
You can create a new one.
Consider it.
A hint of cheer passed across Raziel's face. Something akin to black sludge spun around the walls of the corridor. Of course, it assaulted my mind with more potency than ever before, making me wince. Like static, like a solemn choir, like an innocent children's song. I could almost hear my brain creak under the pressure of this overpowering curse of bliss the tunnel contained. Adam tried touching the sludge on the wall.
I see. This is indeed pretty bad. I could feel my head cry in pain despite all of the countermeasures installed. I wonder if these souls turned sludge here are to blame.
Adam was about to unsheath his weapon, but Eve stopped him.
Please stop. Those used to be the dwellers of heaven, and from the look of it, I imagine there will be no end to them. They are not infinite, as far as we are concerned.
You think destroying them would be of no use?
Yes, there is no salvation for them. Not for all eternity, or rather, you could say that they have already been absolved in a way.
To heaven? Try listening to their words despite myself. Yeah, Cristina, go for it.
Come with us. Come, come, come to eternal bliss.
I shut my hearing down as fast as I could. Just listening to the verse made me sick. The souls have fused with one another, but they somehow still retain parts of their individual consciousness. Like hell I ever want to become a part of a dreadful substance like that. Raziel, are you alright?
I cannot say I am. I feel sick.
Raziel covered her mouth. The assault course seemed to cause a sensation similar to nausea from drunkenness in her. Let's hurry. Isn't a good idea to stay here for long.
Indeed. But first, let us have the knaves in the way disappear. After all, futile it might be, but banishing them for now might at least buy us some time.
Adam pulled out the weapon from his pocket dimension.
Divine Sword Durandal, banish all and everything that means us harm from this world.
Without giving us a chance to stop him, Adam pointed his sword at the sludge. A tremendous blast of energy burst out of his tips. The Merker's souls seemed to have been exploded to the nether. The corridor returned to its usual silent white.
It doesn't seem like they're coming back right away. They probably will eventually. But for now, I would say we can hurry to the 7th stratum in relative peace.
Yes, thank you.
Apparently, Adam didn't fancy the idea of Eve stepping into the sludge, seemed to catch on to the sediment, and gave him an embarrassed smile. Both I and doubtless Raziel were very happy the cursed chorus had been silenced for the time being. Still, I couldn't help having mixed feelings about thanking him for the feat.
Well then, let us go.
So we finally opened the doors to the 7th stratum. Felt lightheaded for a moment. Black clouds covered the sky as far as the eye could see, reminding me of the sludge from before. I could make out skyscrapers in the distance, the grandness of them easily discernible from even this distance.
So the 7th stratum was...
Shinjuku. didn't take me more than a glance to recognize it. The physical representation of human ambition placed atop love vanity even in Tokyo, Shinjuku. You can tell if it's day or night, depressing gray covered the entirety of the sky. One thing that seemed to show any motility in the scenery was the slow sludge material hovering in the distance.
Miasma, wherever you turn.
To agree with Adam, something dreadful like madness made tangible filled the air, pungent enough to make one wish to stop breathing, to want to cover all of one's exposed skin.
Let us march forward. The sooner we find Jacob's ladder, the better.
I think we should first confirm the condition of the Striatum's master.
Yes indeed.
We split into two groups, Adam with Eve, I with Raziel to inspect the surroundings.
I recommend we check the red light district first.
I directed my gaze towards Kabukicho. Does indeed look like the magic is denser in that direction.
If you look close enough, you can spot that the magic is concentrating there. Someone might be there. Let's check it out.
Sleepless town that never grew empty regardless of time or season had turned into a ghost town, a wild wind to howl about. The lavish neon signs blinking all around us only strengthening the feeling of desolation the place gave off. Our petty sentiments were blown right away as we reached the main square. This is...
Raphael and Gabriel?
Two humongous steel statues, tied with their backs to each other, loomed before us, looking almost like Ryomen Sukuna from Japanese folklore. A tough cord-like thing coiled all around them, piercing through their palms. The posture reminded me of martyrs who sacrificed their lives, praying to God. Is this really Raphael and Gabriel? Raziel gave me a nod, still shaken by the sight. Flew high into the sky to take a better look at the magic flow. See the energy emanating from the two master angels travel straight to one of the skyscrapers. What on earth is that? Energy field or maybe a barrier? A tremendous amount of almost palpable magical energy covered the walls of the building like a giant waterfall. They need to look up the name of the structure. It's the most famous structure in Shinjuku. Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. There was very obviously something important there. Clearly the two statues below me seem to be protecting that something. Raziel would like to confirm one more time just in case. Are those statues Raphael and Gabriel? Raziel had her hand on one of the statues with a vacant expression.
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely them. My guess is they turned themselves inanimate out of their own volition.
Out of their own volition? Why? Raziel shook her head, so even she didn't know. In any case, Raphael and Gabriel are emanating magic that's protecting the building over there. What do you think we should do?
For starters, we should stop the magic flow.
As Raziel said that the stomach area of one of the angel statues suddenly came open. What the? I took a careful peek inside the hole. I saw two small lights inside. No, that was... A bunch of metal angels burst out from the hole with a piercing shriek. The display left both Raziel and myself speechless. What on earth were those things? They looked like any living being I ever saw. The creepy smile that might as well have been painted on his face, and the metal angels pointed his Gatling guns at us.
Property pension! Fire! Level 3!
Raziel reacted slightly faster than an angel could pull the trigger. What on earth?
There are more?
glanced up at the sky. Indeed, there were more. A whole flock of metal angel-like things. Like a swarm of insects to consider us and cock their heads all at the same time. This doesn't look good. I sheathed my sword, prepared myself for an incoming attack.
Raziel and Gabriel seem to be giving birth together.
Can you stop them?
It'll take some time. Give me a second.
Raziel promptly pulled out her tablet, connected its cord to one of the angel statues. Here they come! The machine gun and triggered the trumpet static volley both sides us. Silver Lion of Pride! I saw one in 7 beasts that repelled the projectiles. 2 angels caught in the crossfire fell down to earth. Unfortunately, 1 or 2 was hardly a drop in the ocean given that they attacked us with a legion. I guess they were inside a ball of bullets at this point. For now, I concentrated making sure none of them found their way to Raziel. It's more or less the context of the extent of what I can do, unable to find an opening for a counterattack. To make matters worse, I realized the Metatron wouldn't work against these things. Only activated against those stronger than myself. It's obvious they wouldn't be as strong in a one-on-one fight. I couldn't unleash my true power if they all combined into a single giant robot. My Metatron wasn't particularly convenient now that I thought about it. Adam, where the hell are you? To tell the truth, I wasn't particularly keen about asking him for help. I couldn't figure out anything else to do in this situation. Unfortunately, the voice that answered my calls to me is as strange as my own.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm quite busy. I don't have time for chatting right now.
Did you run to them too?
Now I see why you'd want the help. Unfortunately, I cannot move. If I do, they'll shoot Eve down.
I see. I think I can figure out something myself. You do something about your situation yourself, alright? Pray the luck is with you today.
Since when are we on terms to pray for each other?
I'm not praying for you, I'm praying for Eve.
I see. That makes sense. Okay. I shall pray for Raziel as well then. May luck with Raziel today.
Though I don't care if you keel over or not.
I share the sentiment.
With that, we disconnected our telepathic link. For some odd reason, our brief conversation dispelled my stress. In any case, now I had to think about holding out until Raziel was finished with whatever she was doing. Concentrating repelling with the bullets. For all 7 beasts assisting me in battle, the angel bodies eventually started piling into heaps. So the long battle finally came to an end. All angels suddenly stopped moving at the same time, locked to make motion as if their springs had suddenly given out, to proceed to fall out of the sky. Raziel? Raziel was pale as a ghost. I let her out of my sight for a minute. Now she looked as if she'd woken up from a most terrifying nightmare.
Setsuna.
Raziel, what is it? Raziel clutched her chest, her face contorting into a mask of suffering, as if, having witnessed the end of the world, she appeared so haggard that she might collapse any second. Raziel, get a hold of yourself! What on earth happened?
Nothing!
She flinched at the volume of her own voice, then proceeded to squeeze out a few more words in a calmer tone.
It's nothing. It's really nothing. Raphael and Gabrielle have already passed away. It seems they turn their bodies into a device of all sorts before death.
Surround that building in magic? Raziel gave me a nod.
It seems like they were masters of this stratum.
So it went as far as to sacrifice their lives to impede others from reaching heaven. Was to prevent humans from reaching it? Or the other way around, preventing something still in heaven from coming out? Well, all the questions would probably be answered once we actually reached the place.
I see you survived.
Are they Raziel and Gabriel?
Adam and Eve landed right next to us, and seemed to have suffered a single scratch in no battle. Well, Adam's clothes seemed slightly dirtier than before, so there was that. Probably dashed on all around, concentrated on keeping Eve safe. Now that I thought about it, they're just the same.
Did you find anything?
A swarm of metal angels. Couldn't tell if they were living beings or machines attacked us. But that's about it.
Well, the magic barrier around the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building also seemed to suddenly disappear. But yes, that's about it.
It appeared the two already realized where we're supposed to head next. Then let's go. To the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, the place currently closest to heaven. Shinjuku's sky didn't show any sign of clearing it up. The purple akin to that of sunrise glow still covered the entirety of its canopy, though, under present circumstances, came off as ominous rather than beautiful. As we stepped on the roof's concrete, a set of shining stairs appeared before us, as if through some magic spell. It stretched up beyond, disappear into the clouds of the distant sky.
Jacob's ladder.
Sole pathway to heaven, Jacob's ladder. About a countless angels and demons, harboring a little awe towards the divine abode, but still the majesty of the displayed overpowered me for a moment.
Let's go.
With nothing else to add, Adam proceeded up the stairs with Eve at his side. Not like it was a race, but I didn't want to fall too far behind him.
We can go at our own pace.
No, we should hurry. It'd be terrible if he entered heaven before us. Not like it was a race or anything. We walked for 3 hours straight. The sun, shining faint in the distance, had not moved an inch in the sky. Time remained at standstill in this world. The clouds retained their shape, immobile as if plastered to the sky. Only 4 of us moved under the frozen sight. Adam.
What is it?
Adam turned to face me with a hint of irritation. Will your duty come to an end once you reach heaven? I felt like asking, just as well.
I shall lay down my life.
That would be the case only if God was alive, wouldn't it? When his eyes fixed on me, not giving in to the pressure, I continued. It was a talk we had to have at one point. It's a high possibility that heaven's already in Metatron's hands. In other words, God lacks the power to stop his rebellion. Still think that's all part of God's test for mankind? Well, go ahead. But what you do, your Lord himself is already beyond help. Like if he's no longer physically existed in this world. A blasphemy indeed, but also one that was very likely.
That's...
It was the first time I saw Adam stutter. Will you worship the new Lord? Would you rather choose your fate for yourself?
I don't know.
Flat response nearly made my blood boil. Know it, Adam. You don't, there's no point in continuing your own words.
Then how about you?
I shall save a girl by the name of Kugutsu Sorami. Do my best to help her lead a peaceful life. After that, it doesn't matter. I just live until I die. I can end my life right away, but that would cause her sorrow. She would weep for my sorry fate. I didn't want that. I refused to let my own wretched self bring her any more tears. I knew full well that my life had been but a fleeting moment from the start, but still I...
Kugutsu Sorami.
I loathe to admit it, but your resolve rings sound in my ears. Eve, is there anything in particular you would like to do if God is no longer with us?
Huh?
Eve froze in place. 2 of us behind her had to stop her ascent.
What would you like to do after reaching heaven? I thought I would like to grant you your wish first of all.
Seeing as she was struggling to find the right words, after a while she faintly smiled.
I don't want anything in particular. all I'd ever wish for would be to spend my time with you in silence. That would be more than enough bliss for me.
I see.
Adam nodded, his countenance ambiguous, unclear if he found her answer convincing or not. The stories resume her trek appear like Adam's question that pierced to the very depths of Eve's heart. Even us, walking behind her, could tell her mind was no longer here. Jacob's ladder continued with no end in sight. Adam and Eve, Raziel and I, we all continue our ascent, one step at a time. Clouds immobile, sun anchored to the sky, the concept of time had long abandoned us. Neither hunger nor fatigue existed in this world. All that weighed down upon our souls was the most excruciating sense of boredom. Unicorn seemed to lose its vigor here. Even at third stratum, the voices put more strain on my mind. It's most odd. Was it the angels in heaven that sung that accursed song? When I thought about it, ultimately no one could find out the reason why it had the power to destroy the minds of all beings, both divine and mortal, that cared to lend it an ear. In any case, it must have certainly been louder than this to affect anyone. I mean, the song of that black sludge was intense, tried to ravage both my body and soul, but this? The more we ascended from the first stratum to the second, from the second to the third, the voices would grow louder and louder. Yet, once we came here, the song turned barely audible, hardly bothered our minds. Was this an indication of a change in heaven? The white clouds were already almost at arm's reach. We took another step up the ladder, and the clouds welcomed us with a gentle chill. Beyond them, finally, lay the end of the road. We need climb no longer. So what had become of heaven?
It appears we are finally at our journey's end.
Now we only have to open those blindingly white gates, looming before our eyes to learn everything. The time was nigh to part them. Adam and Eve, one with a golden, another with a silver key in hand, stood in front of the lock. Lock unfastened without resistance. A solemn groan reverberated around us as the gates opened. Behind them?
What?
It's empty.
There was nothing there. Only a white canvas, stretching as far as the eyes could see. Well, planet sky seemed to vaguely exist, but that was about it. You sure we're in the right place? Raziel slowly shook her head.
We had land and towns and trees and even animals. But this place...
Let's go.
Adam proceeded forward without hesitation. The grounding step would flicker like some garbled video game texture. Concentrating magic to my feet, I tried taking a step forward myself. The soft quality of the ground made me feel like I was walking on the carpet. The floor's data seemed to momentarily go awry with each of my steps. Various strange symbols as well as lines of 1 and 0 would manifest and soon vanishes again on the surface.
Such an odd texture. It feels almost like...
This world's still unfinished. Adam shot me an indignant look for stealing his line.
I see. Using an average amount of aquavitae to completely overwrite the whole place.
Raziel traced her hand along the soft ground.
Aquavitae can take the plate and shape of anything, even Earth itself. Though, with this amount, it seems like it'll still take quite a bit of time for it to properly transform.
So then this place was indeed heaven.
Yes, this is without a doubt the same place you two spent your young days at.
He glanced at the empty sky and lowered her gaze to the white ground.
This is heaven? I don't want to believe it.
Aversion sounded clear in her words. I've seen Eve this obviously angry before.
Did Metatron cause this?
Only angels and select few of mankind could dwell in heaven. I doubt anyone but him has had enough power to ravage the holy place like this.
Grand angel who people had called another god once.
This place is already heaven of its design. The heaven we once knew exists no longer.
Owen fell silent for a while. Neither I nor Adam knew what heaven was supposed to look like. The sight of his new form didn't affect us that much. Even Raziel, on the other hand, seemed to have been hit quite hard by this sterile sight. Paradise lost. Eve had once lived in exile from this place as punishment for consuming the fruit of knowledge. But Adam was reimagined anew. Eve, supposedly, survived from those times, living among mortals. Probably still harbored a sense of attachment to her old home. Was there another reason to cause her awry? I'd like to take a look for Sorami if possible.
Wait, we should find our Divine Father first. He should still be somewhere around this place.
Your words are sound, but where is that somewhere of yours?
Adam glanced around his surroundings with puzzled eyes. I couldn't blame him. It didn't seem like constant searching could possibly make sense of this hardly corporeal world. Place. The only vacant white surrounding us at every angle, there was very little we could possibly do. Is God visible?
I've never seen him myself, but I could always sense his presence. Though, with all directions looking the same, I had no idea which way we should advance.
Seemingly on her wit's end, Raziel spun around considering the scenery around us. Well, if the old heaven was overwritten, then he might still be in his old location. Spatially, at least. Could you at least guess a vague direction from here?
I'll try.
Raziel's memory as a guide, we proceeded to scour surroundings. According to her, there was some sort of curtain veiling God's throne. Unfortunately, we could not find neither a throne nor anything akin to curtains anywhere.
I think it was somewhere around here.
Predictably, the sole thing we found was empty space. I couldn't feel a thing, and apparently neither did Adam.
What should we do now?
The Sefer Raziel.
Eve uttered the book's name, the Sefer Raziel, the book that had all the knowledge of this world, recorded by our very own Raziel.
Maybe your book can help us, Raziel. The book that had enough power to twist the whole world.
That's...
Raziel's countenance grew pale. What was going on? Could a mere book possibly twist anything?
I'll try it out.
Raziel made a few steps away from us, as if giving me an eye signal to take more distance. She opened her book. Eve, what's going on here? Adam, he didn't seem to understand the situation, cocked his head.
Are you familiar with Raziel's raison d'etre?
No, I'm not.
Her raison d'etre is taking records. Originally, she was a very simple angel. Her sole role was to simply record the truth on parchment and share it with the mortals.
Sefer Raziel. Boot.
A giant book flew open before her, lines of blue letters floating up in the air above it.
There is no document more special than her book, however. No grimoires or any other writings could ever compare to the knowledge stored within it. No one ever questioned it. Adam, Noah, Solomon, Abraham, Jacob. Only the knowledge in this book allowed them to overcome God's trials. Even among angels, the Sefer Raziel was regarded as the sole word of truth, a tomb with power to influence even God. Everyone conceptualized it so in complete unity. And Raziel is the one that has written it, the only one that can inscribe new verses into it.
I gulped at Eve's words. If that was true, and if I understood it right, the true power of Raziel was incredible. Power that exceeded even that of gods.
Truth or not, everything written in that book reverberates back to reality. That is the true power of Raziel in her volume.
Raison d'etre variable, spiral karma, God dwelleth hither.
With Raziel's words, a colossal throne manifested out of thin air. In its wake, giant currents expanded around us. Atop the throne, there was a thing.
Is this God?
Anna was the only one that showed little surprise at its appearance. I, along with Raziel and Eve, could only stare at the thing, our mouths agape. God made humans in his image. Nothing seems further from the truth. It hardly looked like a living thing, much less human. A giant object made of carbon tubes. Looked more like some sort of symbol or a logo than an actual being. No face, no neck, no torso, no limbs. Probably no organs either. A creature defying common sense, its visage devoid of any and all features that could be attributed to a living being. Yet here it is, right in front of us.
Did this thing truly create us?
Raziel had her eyes fixed on God, trying to suppress the vomit rising up in her throat.
Neither beautiful nor ugly, just dreadfully cold, a being far removed from the concept of an animal. So that's the truth. That's the true face of our Father, our God.
Eve glared at God defiantly. Is this thing alive? That was probably a question that swirled in everyone's minds. Through the power of Raziel's raison d'etre, God was finally laid bare in front of the eyes of mortals. It looked like an animal, human or a dog. It might have at least felt something. It might have found it terrifying, or it might have impressed her with its divinity. But this thing had none of that. It felt neither dignity nor holiness, nor terror for the thing sitting, or should I say standing, on the throne. What I felt was undiluted dread. It was far removed from anything human, anything animate.
He should be alive, at the very least.
Raziel uttered words with little confidence.
It's alive. Although now that I think about it, that word should be reserved to beings that used to possess life. It exists.
The thing filled me with dread. How did it move? How did it carry out its life processes?
Do you think this being can understand words? Can we communicate with it?
We should be able to. If that wasn't the case, then God's words we had listened to and abided to till now would have become mere hallucinations on our own part.
That'd be the case indeed. The notion was ridiculous, right? Maybe we can communicate with it. Are you sure he will help us? That's my main fear. Having chat with God was all well and good, but at the same time, the present apocalypse was doubtless partly caused by the thing. It'd still be alright if it had lost its powers and proved useless. It'd still be alright if it had a stance of non-involvement and would leave us alone. However, suddenly a voice reverberated across the white space, making us all flinch in unison. It came from, huh? Cristina?
Rebooting. Warning. Currently in the process of rebooting.
Rebooting? Oh no.
What?
Warning. Hardware intertwined in the lower dimension. Current existential space 3-dimensional. Physical law influence. High 5 seconds until full system reboot.
God started moving, expelling bursts of fumes, floated upward. This wasn't good. I don't know why, but I had a very bad feeling about this.
Formatting all devices. Memory error detected. Cut. Initiating creation script.
Something akin to spiked tentacle shot out the thing, sticking into the ground below it. My bad feeling grew even worse. Raziel, fall back, hurry! The god kept announcing his condition in his emotionless tone.
Check. Error. Corrupt file. Initiating deletion process. Error. Error. Error.
There's no way I could get through to that cursed thing.
Warning. Unable to initiate script due to corrupt files. Proceeding with physical elimination of the error.
Adam and I glanced at each other, sighed in unison. Physical elimination. This now is clear. Men or not, God meant us harm. Not to mention that, from what he said, it seemed like his target was the entire world, rather than just us.
I do not think we have a choice.
Then I was a sigh of resignation. Adam put his sword out of the pocket dimension. And the considering divine sword orchestrated Tegels in his hands for a few seconds, made a troubled face.
Well, let us see if this works.
Adam swung his sword with reckless abandon. Divine flame that escaped it, his tip blazed towards God.
Initiating dimensional transfer complete.
The burn marks caused by Arcus Tegels promptly vanished from God's body. Adam clicked his tongue.
This will take forever.
Indeed, while it didn't seem to be immune to physical harm, it healed its wounds at an incredible rate.
What do you propose we do, Tendo Setsuna?
Don't ask me. Besides, I don't need to explain the one option still left to us. Adam cracked his knuckles and gave me a nod.
You need not. Whoever crushes the other party first prevails.
Exactly. A battle of sheer strength. Took a deep breath. A half-baked weapon would work against that thing.
In any case, could you please move aside before I end up accidentally frying you?
You weigh yourself. I'll make sure to catch you with my next attack.
Could you two please be nice to each other?
No
thanks.
Forcefully initiating the first line of creation. Let there be light. Fiat Lux.
Finding convenient to attack as we stopped to chat, God launched a volley of light bullets at us. Chose to dodge, Adam counterattacked.
Arcus Strategos!
Divine Flame Archangel Michael met the light bullets mid-flight. I myself struck a couple of them out of the air with my Piketty sword, dodging the rest. Raziel, I have a hands full here, so please try to look out for it yourself.
Okay.
Raziel summoned a wall of mud to protect Eve and herself. Come forth, Seven Beasts! Full of fire! The avatars of all the 7 deadly sins shot forward, some to devour the bullets, some to deflect them. Unfortunately, they had to eventually give in to them ending volley of light. Adam, get out of here!
I'm fine.
Get out of there, god damn it! Adam took a step back with a satisfied look on his face. He did as my cue and flew into the sky. The bullets, of course, followed. I cast my spell, summoned one armament fit for the situation with my right hand. A weapon of mass destruction, laser-guided bunker buster codenamed Holy Nail. I hurled it like a javelin, passing through the volley of bullets like they were nothing. It got straight in the middle, exploding in a fiery inferno. Go! The words at its cue, Adam started towards our blazing foe. Ha! The Sorgan Archangel Michael split God in two.
Initiate repair protocol.
With a tone of complete indifference, God proceeded to repair his body and called a dreadful frame of body.
How ironic.
Adam threw his sword to the ground. A part of the situation did he find funny. He stuck his right hand out, pointed his finger straight at God.
Don't you find it ironic how I, the original man and your creation, shall destroy you with weapons that were blessed by your own angel servants?
Adam let out a cry.
My raison d'etre is that of a blessing.
The mortal man imagined and blessed by a legion of angels. Without hesitation, he declared his existence blessed. With the blessing of countless angels to back it up, he transformed into an embodiment of justice. In other words, he made all those that opposed him irretrievably evil.
I condemn you and request trial by ordeal. You are evil, tainted by the devil, and so it is your irrevocable fate to be felled by the blade of justice.
The world changed with his words, for God suddenly turned to evil. The one in front of our eyes was now a demon, the devil himself, and a wicked spirit to be banished.
To battle!
Clutching Michael's sword in both of his hands, Adam sprang forward.
Archistrategos!
God's body split in two again. Adam let the sword fall out of his hands indifferently, summoning another weapon the next moment.
Durandal! Cortana!
Durandal, a sword that Archangel Raziel entrusted to the hero Nolan, it held of pure gold, and a blade that was said to cut through everything in this world. It's easily one of the mightiest holy weapons in the multiverse. Meanwhile, Cortana was the sword of mercy that had passed down through the British royal family. Two swords pierced the hard shell of God.
Ascalon!
The holy sword has served St. George in slaying the dragon. Its design crude, looked more like a giant mace than a sword, so it crushed rather than severed the remainder of God's carapace that it fell upon.
Colada! Tizona!
Two swords of medieval Spanish knight El Cid. Colada, a sword made of gold except for its steel edge. Tizona, a blade which burned in perpetual flame.
Longinus!
The Holy Spirit needed no introduction. The lance that pierced and killed Jesus Christ himself. The weapon pure white, only to which had been eternally colored in crimson, pierced right through God. All holy weapons, without exception, all born to banish wickedness. Right now, God was indeed irrefutably evil. The blessed weapons creaked in unison, obliterated wicked God, with a saintly magic that they annihilated, crushed, and devastated all evil in the path. He was invincible. Adam's raison d'etre bordered on the inconceivable. His iron will boasted enough power to condemn even his own creator, God, that in the end had no way to oppose such animate denunciation. It was proof that Adam was never God's puppet. Inexplicable revulsion I felt towards the man had not waned. Nevertheless, I couldn't help but admire his gallant display. At the very same time, however, I found myself overcome by hatred, blessing. I myself have been born under blessings of billions. The path that ultimately walked was nothing but a curse. So I finally understood, at the very beginning, I've been seeing myself in Adam.
This is the end, our divine Father, maker of my flesh and bone.
Ready to sort of 7 deadly sins, thinking to help Adam finish the one thing. Suddenly a bolt of electricity shot through my veins. Adam, preoccupied with the runes of what used to be God, was about to be caught completely unawares. Dodge, you damn fool! Surprised by the intensity of my own howl, I got a hold of Adam's shoulders, pushed him towards the confused Raziel and Eve behind my back. It was coming. I could tell with certainty that something would fall upon us the very next moment. I had to block it, no matter the cost. Nolan.
Divine destruction, the harbinger of ash.
A pale light fell on God from the depths of the sky, covering the scenery in crimson flames. Tsunami of fire, a flood of inferno. Needless to say, the flames eventually jumped out at us as well. The world turns to the cogs of an There's no use trying to block it. Those flames are potent enough to evaporate entire seas in an instant. We could have put the entirety of our magic to defend ourselves. It still most likely turned even our bones to ash. And only the cool-headed touch of science could save us from this predicament. A flock of basketball-sized white orbs surrounded us at all angles.
What on earth is this?
Extinguishment. The orbs split apart as they came into contact with a flood of fire. After coming apart, however, the orbs turned to bubbles that stuck to the flames, taking their vigor away. Then new orbs would come to being one after the other, repeating the whole process again. The fires couldn't reach us. Narrow space around us remained unaltered, surrounding air somewhat cool to the skin, ignorant of the surrounding flames. Everything else around us, though, seemed like a sight from hell itself.
The pillar, the mighty one God used to fashion his body.
Raziel managed to force a few words out despite her stupor. The flames that once split the sea apart to save Moses and his people now consumed heaven and the body of God himself. It was but one angel could possibly command such power at will.
So, he finally turns up.
Raziel gave Adam a nod. Like a receding blade, the flames eventually lost their fervor and vigor.
No doubt about it.
Cristina.
Initiating reboot. Illegal operation. Error. 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 Error.
A single piece of God's carapace still remained, writhing on the ground, but not for long as the man-like shape suddenly fell down from the sky, crushing it under its feet. Inexplicable joy assailed every pore of my body as I saw the face of our new guest. Finally found him. Nolan.
A wise man once said, God is dead. And with such fitting words, I declare this reality absolute. God is dead.
Metatron.